You can have a perfect investment strategy and still end up broke, not because you picked the wrong stock, not because the market crashed, because you did everything in the wrong order. There are 7 steps. Skip 1, do them out of order, and you can lose tens of thousands of dollars, even if every individual decision you made was technically smart. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact order. Most people never learn it. Stay to the end and you'll be ahead of almost everyone you know. This video is general financial education, not personalized financial advice. Consult a licensed advisor for your specific situation. Here's the uncomfortable part. 1 in 3 Americans has no emergency fund at all. The median amount Americans have saved for emergencies is $500. That figure comes from an Empower survey. It's $500, down from $600 the year prior. That's less than most people's car payment. Other surveys land on different numbers depending on how the question is asked, but every recent study agrees on the same conclusion. Most Americans are dangerously undersaved. And yet, these same people are messaging me asking whether they should buy individual stocks or get into cryptocurrency. That's like asking whether you should buy a Ferrari when you don't have enough money to fix the transmission on the car you already own. There is an optimal order for investing your money. Following it can save you tens of thousands of dollars over your lifetime and dramatically speed up the day you're financially free. Most people ignore this sequence completely, not because they're careless, but because the sequence isn't exciting. Nobody dreams about an emergency fund. Everybody dreams about picking the next Nvidia. Skipping the boring steps to get to the exciting ones isn't a shortcut. It's the single most expensive mistake in personal finance. And almost nobody talks about it because pay off your credit card first doesn't get clicks. If you've been skipping the boring stuff to get to the exciting stuff, the next 90 seconds explain exactly what that's already costing you. And the number is bigger than you think. Picture building a house. You wouldn't pick out granite countertops and fancy light fixtures if your foundation was cracked and your roof was leaking. Yet that is exactly what most people do with their money. They get excited about the latest trending ETF while carrying credit card debt that is mathematically guaranteed to outpace any gain they could possibly make. Let's make this concrete. $5,000 in credit card debt at 22% interest, paying only the minimum. Over 5 years, you pay nearly $2,800 in interest alone. That's money working against you instead of for you. Every dollar you use to pay that debt down is functionally earning you a guaranteed 22% return. That is better than Warren Buffett's long-term average. Nobody calls paying off a credit card investing, but mathematically it's the best investment available to you. And it gets worse. Every month you ignore your employer's 401k match, you are leaving free money on the table that never comes back. Every month you put money into a regular taxable account before maxing out your tax-advantaged accounts, you are voluntarily mailing a check to the IRS that you didn't have to write. None of these mistakes feel like mistakes in the moment. Buying a stock feels productive. Paying off a credit card feels like nothing happened. That feeling is exactly why this order gets skipped so often, and exactly why it's so expensive. Step 3 is the one that breaks the rule you just learned 2 minutes ago. Keep that in mind. Here are the 7 steps in the exact order that maximizes your returns while minimizing your risk. Step 1. Build your emergency fund. Before you invest a single dollar anywhere, you need an emergency fund. This isn't about having spare cash. It's about a psychological safety net. When your car breaks down or a medical bill shows up, an emergency fund means you don't have to sell investments at the worst possible time or rack up high-interest debt to cover it. Standard advice says 3 to 6 months of expenses. That range is so wide, it's almost useless. Here's a better way to build it in stages. Stage 1, your first $1,000, covers most minor emergencies. Stage 2, 1 month of expenses. Stage 3, 3 to 6 months, scaled to your job stability. Vanguard research found people with at least $2,000 in emergency savings scored 21% higher on financial well-being than people with none. The single largest boost linked to any financial factor measured. $2,000 isn't life-changing money. The psychological effect of having it is. The exact move: open a high-yield savings account today, completely separate from your checking account, ideally at a different bank entirely. Out of sight, out of spend. Automate a transfer the day you get paid, even if it's $25. Build to $1,000 first, then 1 month, then 3 to 6. If you skipped your emergency fund because it sounded boring, Step 2 is about to cost you more than you think. Step 2, eliminate high-interest debt. Anything charging you more than roughly 8% annually needs to go before you invest anywhere else. Credit card debt is the obvious villain. Average rates over 22%. Carrying that debt while investing is like running a marathon with a backpack full of rocks. The math isn't close. Paying off a guaranteed 22% interest rate is a guaranteed 22% return. The stock market's long-term average after taxes doesn't come close to that. 2 payoff methods. The avalanche method. Pay minimums everywhere. Throw every extra dollar at the highest rate debt first. Mathematically optimal. The snowball method. Pay off the smallest balance first for psychological momentum. Less efficient, but some people need the early win to stay motivated. The exact move. List every debt with its interest rate. Anything above 8% gets aggressive extra payments. Anything below, a mortgage, most student loans, can wait. Use the avalanche method if you can stay disciplined without quick wins. Use the snowball if you need momentum to keep going. Here's the exception that breaks the rule you just learned. Step 3. Get your full employer match. If your employer offers a 401k match, contribute enough to get the full match, even before you finish paying off high-interest debt. This sounds backwards. It isn't. Employer matching is a guaranteed, instant 100% return on every dollar, up to the match limit. Even against 22% credit card interest, an immediate 100% return usually wins. Typical example, an employer matches 50 cents per dollar up to 6% of salary. On a $50,000 salary, contributing $3,000 gets you a $1,500 match, a 50% instant return, before any market growth at all. Check your vesting schedule. Some employers require you to stay a certain number of years before the match is fully yours. Even with vesting requirements, the immediate match almost always justifies contributing, but know the terms before you count on it. The exact move. Find your employer match percentage in your benefits portal today. Contribute exactly enough to capture the full match, not more, not less. Then redirect every other extra dollar back to step 2 until your high-interest debt is gone. Emergency fund, debt, employer match, that's your foundation. Everything past this point is about keeping the IRS away from your money, and step 4 is the one almost everyone gets in the wrong order. Step 4. Max out your IRA. This comes before adding more to your 401k beyond the match. And here's why. An IRA gives you far more control over your investments and typically much lower fees than an employer plan. Corporate 401k plans are notorious for a limited menu of expensive mutual funds, fees of 1 to 2% that quietly eat your returns over decades. With an IRA, you can choose low-cost index funds charging a few basis points instead. That fee gap sounds small. Over 30 years, it can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Right now, you can contribute thousands of dollars a year to an IRA. The exact number is on screen, and it ticks up most years with inflation. There's also a catch-up provision for people 50 and older that the IRS just increased for the first time since 2006. Now the harder decision, traditional or Roth. Traditional gives you a tax deduction today, taxed on withdrawal in retirement. Roth taxes you today, completely tax-free in retirement. If you're early in your career and likely in your lowest tax bracket ever, lean Roth. Pay the low rate now. If you're in your peak earning years, lean traditional to cut today's tax bill. If you genuinely don't know, split your contributions between both for tax diversification. The exact move. Open an IRA this week if you don't have one. Fidelity, Vanguard and Schwab all offer them with no minimums. Max it out before adding extra to your 401k beyond the match. Step 5 can be worth over $400,000 by retirement, and almost nobody uses the account that makes it possible. Step 5. Max out your HSA if you're eligible. If you have access to a health savings account, this might be the most underused investment vehicle in the country. It's the only account offering 3 tax benefits at once: a deduction on the way in, tax-free growth while invested, and tax-free withdrawals for qualified medical expenses, even decades later. Here's the power move almost nobody uses. Pay current medical expenses out of pocket if you can afford to. Keep every receipt. There's no time limit on reimbursing yourself. Let the HSA money stay invested and compound for decades, then reimburse yourself tax-free whenever you want, even 20 years later. Max HSA contributions for 30 years at a 7% return, and you could have over $400,000 in completely tax-free money for medical expenses, at a time when the average retired couple spends over $300,000 on healthcare. This account can make that bill disappear. The exact move: if you have a high-deductible health plan, open an HSA and max it out before adding more to your 401k. Pay current medical bills with cash if you can. Save the receipts and let the HSA grow untouched. Foundation, debt, match, IRA, HSA, 5 steps down. Step 6 is the one most people think comes first. It's actually second to last. Step 6. Max out your 401k. Once your IRA and HSA are maxed, go back and max out your 401k beyond the employer match. At this point, you could be sheltering a serious 5-figure sum a year from current taxation between your IRA, HSA, and 401k combined. The current number's on screen. That's serious money compounding without the IRS taking a yearly cut. Between your IRA, HSA, and 401k combined, you could shelter tens of thousands of dollars a year from current taxation. The exact number ticks up slightly most years as the IRS adjusts for inflation, but the order itself never changes. Most people never reach this step. The average American saves about 6% of income, not even enough to max an employer match and an IRA, let alone everything else. If you make it this far, you are already in the top 5% of savers in the country. The exact move: increase your 401k contribution percentage in your payroll portal until you hit the annual max, or as close as your budget allows. Step 7. Invest in a taxable brokerage account. This is the step most people want to start with. It's actually last, for a reason. A taxable account has no contribution limits and no withdrawal restrictions. But every dividend gets taxed. Every gain you sell gets taxed. It's running a race with sand in your shoes. You can still finish. It's just harder than it needs to be. $10,000 invested annually for 30 years at 7%. Roughly $944,000 in a tax-advantaged account versus roughly $700,000 in a taxable account after tax drag. Nearly $250,000 difference from taxes alone. But once everything else is maxed, taxable accounts earn their place. Complete flexibility. Need a house down payment in 5 years? No problem. Want to retire early before you can touch retirement accounts? This is your bridge money. The exact move: once steps 1 through 6 are maxed out, open a taxable brokerage account and invest the rest here. Low-cost index funds first. Individual picks only with money you can afford to lose. 7 steps. Here's the complete order. 1. Emergency fund. 2. High-interest debt. 3. Employer match. 4. IRA. 5. HSA. 6. 401k max. 7. Taxable account. Follow this sequence and you're building wealth correctly while most people are still trying to pick the next Nvidia. Screenshot that. It's the only financial order you'll ever need to follow. Comment which step you're on right now, 1 through 7, not which step you wish you were on, the real one. I read every comment and it tells me exactly what to cover next. If this saved you from doing things in the wrong order, subscribe. Every week, one complete financial breakdown explained properly in the right order without the fluff. And if you know someone investing in random order right now, credit card debt sitting there while they buy meme stocks, send them this. 12 minutes could save them a decade of working backwards. Now it makes sense.